Virgo, welcome to your weekly Sidereal Astrology forecast. This is for March 14th to the 20th of 2016. I'm Athen, and this is for Sidereal. If you are new to the channel, be sure to check out the link down below because the signs are different. All right, so Virgo, this week, a very powerful month with all these eclipses, and this week we're right in between the two eclipses. We had the solar eclipse last week. We're going to have the lunar eclipse next week. So this is all about that first quarter phase where we can take action, where we can integrate a lot of these insights that have been coming to us over the past week during the solar eclipse. So this has been probably specifically relating to, on one hand, your routine, your health, your diet, your regiments, maybe your work for some of you, which has been the 6th house Aquarius energy, and on another level, perhaps relationships. That south node is in that 7th house still, and that eclipse happened very close to Pisces. So this is all about where you can make change there too. Change in terms of your perspective of relationships. Change perhaps literally there, but it all comes from self first. And that's what this is all about. It's all about self-examination. It's all about reflecting on the past with the south node to see where we can make change, where we could have made change, but now we can make change because we understand more about the over extremes of these areas, the unhealthy areas, maybe the decisions or whatever. But now we understand it. We have more clarity, or at least can, during this part of the eclipse, especially with the sun, who recently went over that south node last week, and now Mercury going over that south node this week. So let's go and look at the transit graph. We've got a lot going on this week, a lot involving your ruler Mercury. So there's going to be a strong emphasis for you guys, and this is going to be particularly here on Monday and Tuesday, a little bit later on Thursday. So in terms of right at the beginning of the week, we've got Mercury opposing up to that Jupiter, and that Mercury is then going to be squaring up to Saturn and sextiling up to Pluto, which has been this whole eclipse point. So the shift of this whole year and this whole life path is for you to really connect to your spiritual side, your deep psyche, right? Whether it's through meditation or whatever it is, there should be plenty of opportunities to get that alone time right now. Maybe it's being rehashed with Jupiter retrograde. But these are good things, and the key is it's all about balance. You've got this push and this support for these next 2 years to really cultivate your spiritual side. Get to know your deeper side, your spiritual self. But to do that, there has to be change, again, in those daily tasks, in the everyday experiences. And Mercury here is suggesting that maybe it has been quite busy these past few weeks with the everyday stuff, with your ruler in that 6th. And so it's all about balancing these two areas. That in order to have spirituality, we do have to have good routine. We do have to have good discipline and regiment, and vice versa. In order to have good daily activities and work and regiments, we have to have presence. We have to have a willingness to go into the unknown and to have faith and trust. So that balance will be very important this week. And it could be optimistic with your ruler opposing up to Jupiter, but more than likely be a little bit more introverted in that sense, since Jupiter's retrograde. That square up to Saturn is saying, look, with your communication, with your mind, with your perspective, that's all been very serious. And it's all about grounding and building now your mind, your perspective, your intention. Maybe on a everyday level, maybe connecting on a social level with siblings or peers, correspondence, marketing, business for some of you. Good to ground those areas. Now, Pluto has actually been very supportive with all of this, and sextiling up to your ruler is quite nice. It's all about this power to make change. In fact, Pluto is going to be trending up to that Jupiter at that same time here midweek on Wednesday. So we've got this support. We've got this insight. We've got this opening, this gateway to make change. And the change, again, is for you to go into the unknown, to have that faith, to go into an area of life that allows you to relax. Of course, it requires that change, but that's what the life path is shifting you towards. To enjoy life. This is really the house of happiness, not the type of happiness like the 5th house, which is about, fun and playfulness, but type of happiness that comes through peace. So you have a lot of support to make change so you can have more peace in your life. And then there's Saturn, of course, saying, okay, but there is responsibility. There are things that have to be grounded, things taken seriously. And so being open to that, managing your everyday experiences, managing the correspondence, the reading, writing, anything that you're doing on that level will help. That's the square. That's the T-square with that. So very, very powerful week in that regards, not only with the eclipses, but this very powerful aspect with Jupiter and Pluto, which has been going on since the later part of last year. But now the middle aspect of this is all about shifting things into a new direction. Perhaps even learning some new things about these insights in these areas. And this is a Pluto in your 4th house, mind you. So it's all about change with your emotional body, being open to change here, which I think you are, because Pluto is well aspected. So, depending on the amount, there is a side that is open to changing your emotional body, changing your past, reflecting on your past so that you can make change. Maybe changing home, family, or health in some sense too can be very powerful also. Now on Thursday, like I said, that Mercury, your ruler, goes over the south node. So you guys are going into the void, so to speak. And so there is this opportunity to really reflect on your identity, specifically with the past, maybe even reflect on your career or your legacy or anything productive so that you can change those areas so that, again, you can facilitate, move into a new direction with you, a new direction with your career, a new direction with this spiritual side. And your ruler going into the 7th house, if you haven't already been focused on relationships more so, there will be even more of that once your ruler goes in there as we approach the weekend. And that's going to be for about the next month or next few weeks, where you've got this more mental energy, more communicative, where it's been, I think, more about the routine and stuff. It'll certainly pick up into more of the interrelation aspects of life. Now the weekend tops off on Sunday with Venus going over that Neptune. So you can, in fact, enjoy these everyday, daily tasks right now. Anything that's about taking care of something or helping others improve or self-improvement can be very enjoyable. It's an excellent weekend for that, to really connect to the present moment with that. Maybe, again, do some spiritual activities, whether it's yoga or if it's active, like running can help us get into a present state, for example, sports. So whatever it is for you personally, it'll probably be more on the everyday level, but it's good. It'll be good and relaxing, or at least can be. But if you do feel any doubt or confusion about it, remember that this is all shifting into an area for you to enjoy more of that peace and presence in your life. All right, Virgo, so have a great week. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you all next week.